Hello, I'm JW, and in this episode, mail, or this box which has been sent in by a viewer. So let's open it and see what we've got. Now here's the box here. This is from Germany, this particular one. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Is a note, so I have a note, and it says, I recently discovered I must join your YouTube channel and feel like contributing a bit, and I'm sending you an extension lead for which I've paid €4 in a regular German supermarket. Please do a teardown and a quality check. So €4, that's about £3 UK, or about $4.50 if you're in America. So what we've got is a extension lead with multiple outlets. Obviously it's the European style of plug and socket arrangement. Obviously coming from Europe there, with the two pins. So I've got the lead there, the normal European plug there, and 3 outlets there, and then 6 of these just 2-pin outlets, and a switch there. Now here's the packaging from the thing, and here's the price here, €3.99, or just under €4. And interestingly, it's got the English wording on as well as the German and other languages as well. So a multiple socket with 9 outlets. And on the back here, again, we've got the various selections of languages, and it does have English on there. So what we should have then is integrated child proofing, illuminated on-off switch. It's got 3 protective contact plugs and 6 European contact plugs, so that'll be the 3 large and the 6 just 2-pin ones. Space-saving socket arrangement, cable at 1.45 metres. Safety through line cross-section 3 by 1.5 millimetres. Now, if it is 1.5 millimetres, that's certainly at the upper end of the size that you would expect on this sort of thing. And have a look at the flex there. It does look reasonably sizable, actually. And it has got some markings on there which, bizarrely, don't actually appear to state the size of it, which... Oh, yes, here we go, yeah, 3 1.5 square millimetres, and so it's feels fairly large and sort of robust in its form there. And the thing itself then, we've got the 3 earthed outlets there with the line and neutral, and also the earth on the side contacts there, and that's for that style of plug there, which is pretty much the standard used throughout Europe. So you've got 2 pins and then the earth on the top and the bottom there. And then we've also got these 6 2-pin items, which are the same spacing as those, but of course that won't actually fit in there, but a 2-pin plug, of course, would. And this switch on the side here, maximum 3500 watts, which is fine. That would correspond to about 16 amps, which is what these are actually rated to. And then on the back there, we've got all of the standard things which it allegedly complies with. Now, having looked on the back here, there's one problem here straight away, and that we can't, it's going to be quite difficult to open this because it's got these weird security type screws in there, which of course are put there deliberately so you can't open it and see what's inside. So it'll be a bit of a challenge to undo those. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, say for €4, it's reasonably secure there, so not too bad. Now let's just see if it does actually work, or at least powers up. So let's just plug in here. Now, okay, so right, well the light does come on there. Not going to be very easy to see on the camera if we zoom in a bit. So actually there's some sort of neon or something in the switch there, and it does turn on and off with the switch, and it does switch on and off with the power as well, so that's reasonably promising. Now, after certainly looking, I couldn't find anything that would undo the screws here, which had that weird thing with the little 3 cutouts on the edges, so I've just drilled out the screw heads instead, because obviously fittings for those do exist, but we don't have them here, and I couldn't find any with a certain amount of time spent looking for such things, other than something which looked similar, but unfortunately the fittings for it were quite wide, so it wouldn't have actually fitted in holes anyhow. So another example of manufacturers using things which are totally unnecessary. Normal screws would have done the job fine, but they've just used those weird headed things with the specific aim of stopping people opening it, to either prevent them repairing it or seeing what's inside or whatever. So a totally unnecessary thing which a number of manufacturers do. So let's see what we have inside. So there's the back piece there, it's just moulded plastic. PS it says, presumably for polystyrene, you would imagine. Although that's a rather strange way of marking it. Normally it would be a professionally embossed symbol, not something that someone's just apparently scrawled in with some kind of implement. But anyway, let's see what we've got. So I've got the cord restraint there, and the switch here does appear to be double pole, which is what you'd want, because obviously these are non-polarised sockets, so unlike these, of course, the same, so you can put the plug in either way round, so line and neutral, of course, could be on either side. So, of course, fairly important to have the double pole switch. The wires are actually soldered on directly, which is not ideal. They'd be better off with a crimp and a press-on type of terminal there, but that's what we've got. And yeah, the earth just goes straight underneath there. Not very keen on the way that this neutral here, or the blue wire, is just one pressed over the other, considering that could just press down onto that and therefore render the switch totally inoperative. So that's certainly not ideal. And I say either one of these could be line or neutral, because again the plug on the end is a again, non-polarised variety, so it would fit in the socket either way round. So we've got the power there going in, and again just coming out this side, line goes over to here, which will form one side of the contacts for the 3-pin sockets, and then it comes off again here and goes over to that side, again on that strip there, which goes for that side. And the neutral does a similar thing, that just comes over to this side here on these, and then it just tapped off again at the end there, and goes over to the middle point there, which will cover that bar over that side. And of course the earth comes across underneath. There's no earth on the 2-pin obviously, and it goes to the central point down there in the middle. And interestingly, they put actual crimps on the end of those, so that's all crimped together as you would expect, but for some reason they didn't use crimps on the switch there, and it's yeah, I mean, soldering is okay, but the problem with solder, it doesn't have any kind of mechanical strength, so it can be a weak point to break there. Right, so we've got brass here, and you see it's just got the little section in for each of the plug holes, or where the pins would go in. It's held in at the end there with those 2 plastic pegs, and in the lid here we've just got a few sort of plastic moulding bits there, which of course just fit over onto the back of it just to provide a little bit of support, but there are only sort of 3 of those rather than all the way along the section there. And again the actual other pieces are just sort of pressed on and presumably just heated over there to hold them in position. This side, similar arrangement with the line and neutral. Again, that just slots in between these plastic moulding posts here. So it's got 3 of those, but notice nothing on this end on the bottom of the casing. There is a similar moulding section on the top there, which would cover over the ends of those there and there. And obviously that would hold in the end in position. Strange how they've done the connection to the neutral and the line, for that matter, to one side of the bar, and then it's using the rest of that bar as the conductor to go through to the ones over that side, and a similar thing with the brown connections there as well. So there we have it, and then the earth connections in the bottom. Again, we're just coming across there with a single connection, and then it just goes via the metal straps across there. These and these, for that matter, certainly look like brass, so that's a reasonable start. Bizarrely, they actually look like copper in the bottom, so we've got brass middle piece and possibly copper strips forming the actual contacts in the socket on this side. And again, there's not a great deal holds those in, other than the shape of the plastic moulding with the various pegs and things that just go down onto the contacts and hold them in place by friction only. Quick check with the magnet of justice, and yeah, there's no traction there, or in fact on any of those, so at least they do appear to be a non-ferrous material, so we'll assume brass in this case, which is a reasonable choice for socket contacts. I can see a whole lot just comes out, so it's purely that back cover which holds them in with various plastic parts, and once that's not there, of course, there's really nothing to hold them in place at all. Down in there. Okay, and again, that does seem to be what it claims to be, so either copper or brass in the case of the central piece going across there. And again, the wires themselves are surely copper in the side as well. Just have a look at one of these. Okay, well, it does look like copper, so that's reasonably promising. So as we have there, that certainly looks like copper there, and there's certainly a reasonable amount of it in there. This claims to be 1.5 square millimetre, so I think we can certainly believe that at certainly within the right size range anyhow. Let's just try scratching those to see if it is actually solid copper, and it appears that it is. So let's just check the resistance of those wires. They certainly look at the right kind of size, so would expect them to be reasonably within the range you'd want. So let's just clip on there and see what we get. Okay, so we've got a reading there of just about 25 milliohms. It's actually 24.5 something, but say 25 milliohms, that's not too bad, and that also includes the contacts of the switch as well. So yeah, the switch does actually work, which we did try earlier. So that seems quite sensible, and I think we can confirm that there's actually copper there of the correct dimension. So, in conclusion then, it's actually fairly well made, despite it only costing €3.99 or €3.99, that's about £3 in the UK. And it does have brass contacts, the wiring does seem to be copper, and it is of the right sort of size, the resistance confirms that there. It does have the double pole switch, so I don't like the soldered connections there. They could have just done a crimped on arrangement the same as they've done here on the bars, but other than that, not too bad. It is all fairly well, wiring's routed within there, but say it's not actually as bad as you would imagine for something of only that sort of price. Unfortunately, of course, they had to use those horrible screws, probably just to prevent people opening it, and so if it breaks, you essentially buy another one, but slot it back together, it doesn't look too bad at all. Certainly the plug and everything is the standard you would expect, and they do snap in and out of the holes fairly decently, so haven't got any to try in there, but again, they're the same contact construction as those, so shouldn't be a problem. So there we go, not too bad at all, and say it just proves that price doesn't really tell you anything about the quality of these things. You can have very cheap things like this which actually are fairly well constructed, and on the other hand some things which cost more than this and turn out to be a load of junk inside. So until next time, thanks for watching.